Hey guys, Michelle here. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Happy Mama Healthy Baby live show. Facebook doesn't give like the little 3, 2, 1 countdown before I would go live now, so it's like weird. Um, so yeah, welcome to the live show. If you haven't joined us before, then here's how it works. Tuesdays after bedtime around 8 o'clock. What time is it? I'm like one of the only people that wears a watch anymore. Oh, it's almost 8. It's like 5 to 8, so perfect timing. Yay. Anyway, sorry, I'm like getting over a cold, so I'm a little congested. I'll try to speak up, but my voice is a little messed up too. Anyway, so Tuesday nights around 8 o'clock, I'm here talking about happy mama stuff, and then Friday afternoon, I'm on again talking about healthy baby stuff. The past couple weeks I've missed Fridays just because we've been busy, and the month of September we're pretty busy too, so I'm going to try my best to be here as much as possible, other than we're going to Disney in September, so I don't know, maybe I'll do a live show from Disney depending on how things are going, but yeah, we'll do vacation, and other than that I'm like traveling for work and won't be around. So anyway, I'll try my best. So Tuesdays, happy mama stuff. What is that? Basically, I talk a lot about how to take care of yourself, how to be a calm mom. Usually I share some things related to my Calm Mom guide, which if you haven't got, I did not put a link in it for the show description, but I can do it in the comments. And so being a calm mom is check in, accept, love yourself, and meditate. And you know, I keep hearing this quote from Gabby Bernstein, I think it was from her, about, like, I've heard multiple people reference it in the past week or so, like even the past couple days, it just like keeps coming across. But she says, like, what do all calm people have in common? And it's they breathe. So it's not one of my check in, accept, love yourself, meditate, but it kind of like all comes, like it all is related, right? And if you look back at one of my past shows, how to keep your cool, then breathe is one of them. So like if a calm person, or if you say to someone who's like a calm person, like, you ready for some bad news, and they'll be like, okay, tell me what it is, you know. So that is a really good tip. I just thought I'd share that because that's been coming up a lot in my life. But anyway, yeah, so Tuesday nights I talk about calm mom stuff. Tonight we're going to be talking about creating new habits, and some tips that I've kind of found that work really well, or at least have been working for me recently for creating new habits. And then Fridays talking about healthy baby stuff. So I work a lot with moms who are on elimination diets because their babies have allergies. So especially dairy-free moms. I'm dairy-free for my son Bradley, and I also was for Genevieve. And I also do a lot about starting solids and just baby nutrition in general. So, so yeah, we'll just get right into it. So I was planning on talking about, if you're watching, then say hi. It's not telling me who's watching. But yeah, say hi, and I want to know who you are, where you're from. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so tonight I was planning on talking about how I do my planning, but I haven't been so good about it lately just because we've been busy over the weekends, and then last weekend, or like yesterday, I've been sick, so I felt like it didn't really fit with what was going on in my life. So I was kind of thinking about what has been going on in my life, and I realized I've been working on creating some new habits. So I thought I'd go through some of those with you guys, and just what I've found has worked for me. Excuse me. So the first thing, please bear with me with my voice. I hope it doesn't get worse as I talk. I'll try to make it quick, I guess. The first thing that I've been working on, or that we've been doing, is monthly grocery shopping. So if you saw, like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, I found an article about how this one woman grocery shops just once a month. And at first, I was like super skeptical. I'm like, well, there's no way that's possible if you're eating real foods, because you need fresh produce. Like, yeah, maybe if you're just surviving on processed foods and, you know, like maybe frozen produce and stuff, then that's fine. But like the way we eat fresh food, so we need to shop every week. But in the article, which I would check it out, it like totally inspired me. It's not necessarily she only goes shopping once a week. She does a big shopping trip she does Trader Joe's once a month, and then she's a member of a CSA just like we are, so we get vegetables every week. And then she'll make a trip to like the farmer's market once a week or whenever she needs some fresh stuff. So it's like, okay, that's doable. So the more I thought about it, like the more excited I got. So we normally do a big family trip to Wegmans. So we get our CSA pickup on Thursday, and then we normally do a big trip to Wegmans on Saturday or Sunday, which I don't mind. Like, it's fun. We all go as a family. It gets everyone involved, and it's just like our family outing. It's cool. Doesn't bother me, except it does suck up like our whole morning. Like, we wake up, we usually have a nice breakfast, and then by the time we're back and have the groceries unpacked, it's like time to rush and make lunch because the kids are starving, and then it just kind of takes up our whole morning. So the idea of monthly grocery shopping got me really excited. And then we go to the farmer's market. We love Westchester Growers Market. We go there every once in a while on Saturdays. So anyway, I was like, okay, this is totally doable because the stuff we buy at the grocery store is stuff that we can buy a lot of. It's like oatmeal. We eat a lot of oatmeal in this house. And then like we do buy some processed foods like pretzels or I don't know. Oh, and then like nuts for nut milk. We buy yogurt, which if you don't open it, can last a long time in the fridge. So I was like, all right, we can do this. Instead of just buying one thing of oatmeal every week or so, then like for a month's worth, I think I bought 2 giant tubs of oatmeal. So we'll see if we can get through a month. So I got like super, super excited about that. So we're all set up. I got some frozen veggies. Frozen veggies are cool, much better than canned. And sometimes even better than fresh because they're frozen like as soon as possible after they're picked. So they're not better than like CSA or farmer's market fresh, but they could be better than grocery store fresh. Anyway, that's probably more detail. Maybe I'll do, if you guys are interested actually, maybe I'll do a whole nother post in a couple weeks about how we do our monthly shopping and how it's working. But yeah, so that's like not like a difficult new habit to make. We just started it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it changes our family life on the weekends and how it kind of frees us up. One hard thing about it is now I've been a lot more lax about meal planning because I don't have to meal plan to write a grocery list. I just buy like a ton of stuff that I know we normally use, and then I rely on the CSA for what veggies we're making. So the past 2 weeks I haven't been as good about meal planning. Like this week we've been doing just a lot of freezer meals and leftovers and stuff. So I need to find a way to make sure I stay on top of that just because it makes life so much easier. So that's one kind of negative thing which I'll work on. So yeah, let me know if that's something that interests you. Give me a like or a love or a comment, and maybe I'll do a show on that in a couple weeks. Let's see. The next thing, all right, I'll talk about this next. The next thing that I've been trying to do is purging a bunch of crap in our house, doing like minimalism for moms kind of thing. So I've talked a lot about how like a lot of these, I don't know, healthy habits or whatever you want to call it, I feel like don't apply to moms, like how you need to get a lot of sleep and how it's great to have a morning routine and exercise. And it's like, I'm a mom of young kids, so nope, not applicable. Right? So same with this whole like idea of minimalism. It's like super intriguing to me to not have so much stuff in the house. But with kids, it's really, really hard. But really with kids, it's like even more necessary to have that because you're constantly like cleaning up after them. Like I'm in the playroom right now, which I did a purge of like a week or 2 ago. So it's like, but it's still a mess. Like, you know, Bradley is at the age where he just loves dumping stuff out on the floor. So there's like a basket of dumped magnets. So like I was playing with him. We were playing a game today to see how many magnets I could get in the basket before he dumped it out again. And then I had it cleaned up, but then Brian came back in and played, and I guess they didn't clean it up, but that's fine. So yeah, anyway, one thing that kind of inspired me to do this whole purging stuff, minimalism stuff, well, I found this really great I don't know what you'd call her, minimalist mom, Ali Casazza, Casazza, I think. She's got some really great stuff, so she kind of inspired me. But it was also the same time, if you've heard me talk about, we got a bunch of construction done in our house. So the Friday after that construction was done, I just spent the whole day scrubbing all the dust off of the floors, cleaning everything up, and then purging like as much old kid stuff that we don't need anymore, or toys that they don't play with so much. We sold like an old table on Facebook, and we were just getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I still have a lot more to go, but that's kind of a new habit, I guess, that I'm starting to do, is like slowly purging through things that we don't need anymore, and then not buy. And I've like never really been into, like, I don't like shopping. I've never been someone who likes a lot of stuff, but we're working as a family really hard to like reduce the amount of things that we have. So right now, like, it feels really, really good, and there's a lot more to do, but at least what I did feels really good. And all the stuff from the playroom is just still sitting in the trunk of my car. I have to donate it, but we're getting there. So anyway, as far as habits go, first was like the whole mindset of not needing as much stuff. Like, is it really adding value? I've never read that, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I think it's called, the Marie Kondo thing. But I know the concept of it. Like, if it brings you joy, keep it, right? Does this item bring me joy? So kind of like the Ali Casazza thing, she has 3 questions to ask yourself, which I don't remember. But yeah, so I've been into that. And the way I've been kind of making it into a habit is I try to just pick one small thing per week that I plan on working through. So she says to start with like rooms that are really easy and not emotionally charged. So yeah, I started with the playroom, but to me that was really easy because there was so much crap. And I just tried to keep toys that like use their imagination with more, and not just like flashy light up stupid things. But yeah, so this week my goal is to purge like all my old shoes. Like half of them have been eaten by dogs, and even though I love them, they're not wearable because my dogs chewed them up. So that's my goal for this week, is to do shoes. So if you guys are into this whole minimalism thing, I am by far not an expert. I am far from an expert, but I'm getting into it, and I'm kind of figuring out what works for me. So if you're into it and you want me to talk about it more, let me know. But anyway, my way of kind of making that into a habit is trying to just pick one thing a week to work on. So how are we doing on time? Is there a way for me to check? No, I have no idea. I just pressed the screen. I don't know if that did anything. Oh yeah, what time is it? Okay, we're like 10 minutes. So I've got like 5 more minutes. So I have 2 more things I want to talk about, and they're kind of 2 big things that have been going on for me lately. One of them is waking up early. So I've talked about this plenty before, about how I would absolutely love to be able to wake up before my kids, but I just cannot do it. And a lot of that is because Bradley still wakes up in the middle of the night to nurse. So he's been getting a lot better. He's been sleeping a lot better. And I think part of that has to do with my next thing, which is me going egg-free in addition to dairy-free for the past month. So he's been sleeping a little bit better. He still wakes up maybe once a night. But anyway, I've been waking up at like 5:30 in the morning every day. I did it for a week at least, I think. And then even on the weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like doesn't matter what day, I set my alarm for 5:30. I usually, like, I'm one of those people, I lay in bed after the alarm goes off, but that's when I practice my gratitude and just try really hard to not fall back asleep. So I was really good at it for a week, and it was amazing. Like, I would pick one thing to do. Like, it used to be if I got up before the kids, I would start making breakfast for them, or start packing lunches, or like unloading the dishwasher, or doing things for them. But now I do things for me. I make myself a cup of tea, and then, well, I guess I do things for my business, but I love it. So it's kind of like for me. And I write. Like, I've been writing a lot. I've been like using my creativity, creating like awesome content for you guys. And it's like maybe about an hour before Bradley wakes up and wants to eat. Genevieve, she has like the little clock in her room that turns green. It turns green at 7, so she knows to stay in bed until then. So I have about an hour to do stuff, and it's been really, really great. And it also helps me with the rest of my day because I know that no matter what, like I got that chunk of time to do something productive or for me. So it helps me be a lot more present with my kids and a lot more intentional with my day because I don't always have in the back of my mind like all this stuff that I want to do because I'm starting my day off knowing that like I've done something that makes me feel good. So yeah, it's super awesome, but I guess that doesn't help like I don't know, you change if you want, because I've been wanting to wake up early forever, and I don't know what it was that, well, probably Bradley sleeping better that helped me wake up early. So I've just been setting my alarm, and then I know like once I start doing it and noticing how good it feels, like I want to keep doing it. It kind of died off over the weekend when I was sick and I knew I needed extra sleep. So I'm hoping tomorrow. I set my alarm for 5:30 today, and it didn't work. I still wasn't feeling good. So I'm hoping tomorrow I'll get back into it. But one tip that I wanted to tell you guys about that is like, well, first of all, just do it. Like, just try and just do it. But I've heard before there's this thing called a gong, which I guess I don't know enough about it to talk about it very educated like. But gong, I guess, translates to work in Chinese. So like qigong is like energy work. So a gong, and this is I heard this from the Urban Monk, and I think a couple other people. But he tries to do a gong. Oh, Samantha, hi. That sounds amazing. I could use some me time. I also need as much sleep as I can get. Oh my God, yes. I'm there with you. So I think it's just you need to accept like you're going through this time in your life. Things are hard. So yeah, take the sleep that you can get. My baby didn't sleep through the night. I mean, Bradley still doesn't sleep through the night, and he's 15 months. So I think I just needed to accept it, and I was fighting it too much. But one day you'll get there. Who knows when, but one day you'll get there, and yeah, it'll be easier, promise. So anyway, back to this gong thing. So the Urban Monk, what he does, he picks a gong to do, which is work. So it's like one simple task, and he does it for 100 days. And if he misses a day, good luck, Samantha, one day, yep. So if the Urban Monk misses a day, then then he has to start it all over. So even if he's at like day 98 and he misses a day, he goes right back to day one and has to do it every day for 100 days. And then after those 100 days, he adds on another one. So that's kind of like what I was thinking of. I was like, when I first heard that a few weeks ago, I thought that was a really cool idea. So I'm kind of thinking of my waking up early as my gong. So I did it for, I don't know, like 7 or 8 days maybe, and then I got sick. So I'm going to start counting the days again, hopefully starting tomorrow. And yeah, so Samantha, let me know how it goes if your baby, I don't know how old your baby is, but hopefully they start sleeping through the night soon. It's tough. It definitely is. So, I mean, you know your body. Like, if you know you need the sleep, then go for it. I've been there. I still am kind of there. But anyway, that brings me to my last point, which I wrote a blog post on, actually on one of those days when I woke up early before the kids. I wrote this blog post and I finally published it. I think it was this morning I published it. So there's a link to it. And it's called How to Make Any Change or a Big Change or something in Less Than 28 Days. So a lot of you guys know my story. I was dairy-free for my daughter Genevieve, and then I was dairy-free for Bradley, and I don't think I've shared his whole story, and now's not really the time because I've been talking for like a really long time, but maybe one day I'll share the whole story. But anyway, I reintroduced dairy with Bradley probably way too early. He wasn't showing any like major signs, but then like after months and months of just chronic congestion, completely miserable, like not sleeping well, waking up in the middle of the night screaming, always wanting to nurse all night long, and then like a few other things happened, like he ate eggs and got really sick, and I was like, all right, this is it. This is it. I'm cutting out dairy again, and I'm going to cut out eggs. And literally like a few days later, he started sleeping so much better. He didn't have his like hour or two long screaming sessions at midnight, and he was only waking up maybe once, and things were just getting so much better, and it was amazing. So dairy was cool. Like I've done dairy plenty of times before. I've cut out dairy. The eggs was really, really scary for me. Eggs are like one of my favorite foods, and I eat them for breakfast, or I used to eat them for breakfast almost every day. They were like a super easy lunch. Like I would just literally, whatever vegetables we had in the fridge, I'd saute them up with leftovers and an egg. Like I ate eggs like crazy. So it really scared me going egg free, but I told myself, okay, this is an experiment. Like I thought of it as an experiment. I'm just going to do it for 1 month, just 1 month, and then I'll bring them back and then see what happens. So you can read more in my blog post about what I ate instead. But yeah, and then I hit a month of egg free last week. And I had eggs again over the weekend, and then last night or Sunday night, of course, when I was like super sick, Bradley was a miserable wreck all night long. So coincidence or not, I don't know, but I cut out eggs again because it seems to be working. But yeah, so some tips on how to make, I guess I should say what I learned about making a change like that. It was really less than 28 days where I kind of like accepted it and was okay with it. So the short story is like the first 2 weeks, I was literally counting the days. I was like, oh my God, it hasn't even been a week yet. Oh my God, it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. And then right after, like right around when I hit the 2 week mark, I kind of forgot about it. Like I was sort of back in my, like a new groove, and I was doing all right. And like I thought about it a little bit, but I was doing okay. And then all of a sudden a month went by, and I was like, oh, we made it a month. And then I was like, I could have an egg this morning, but I don't really need one. So I went a couple more days until the weekend when we had eggs. And I really, really surprised myself. I thought that was like awesome. So I wanted to share my story with you guys. So a few things I learned were, one, just think of it as an experiment and have an end date in mind. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. With diet changes, like with cutting dairy or cutting eggs or whatever, just have an end date in mind. So maybe it'll be like what the pediatrician recommends is like doing it for at least 6 to 9 months. It doesn't matter like if it's a month or if it's a year or 2 years or what. Like if you have that end date in mind, be like, okay, on this day I'll be able to eat whatever again or do whatever again. I think it really helps you kind of get through it. And then, like, yeah, think of it as an experiment. Be gentle on yourself. Know that, like, it's going to be hard. But also know that it's going to be hard for only really the first 2 weeks. I mean, depending how, like, if you're trying to cut sugar and you're, like, physically addicted to it, then it'll be a little bit harder. It may take a little bit more time. But, yeah, just knowing that there's an end date, I think, is, like, the biggest thing that really helped me. And then knowing that in less than a month, like you'll find, like in a couple weeks, like you'll find your new groove, like you'll find your new eggless life or your new dairy-free life, and it'll become much easier. So check out my blog post on that. And I've been rambling for a long time, but I had some cool kind of life updates that I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about a little bit more, like my monthly grocery shopping, waking up early, or like going egg-free or dairy-free, or even like this whole purging thing that I'm trying to do in my house. So Samantha said it took about a month to feel normal. We've been dairy-free since January. Yeah, that's awesome. So that's like 9 months or so. Yeah, definitely. Like I hear it from so many moms how like much better they feel when they cut dairy or eggs or whatever. But oh yeah, thank you, Samantha. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, and I hear from a lot of moms that like once they've been dairy free for so long, they're like, you know what? I don't really feel the need to go back. Cheese is always the one thing that makes people go back, because like dairy free ice cream, it's pretty great. Like I choose vegan ice cream a lot, even when I am eating dairy, and like other dairy-free things, not so bad, but dairy-free cheese, like the cheese substitutes, I haven't even tried. Like I've made cashew cheese and stuff, but yeah, cheese is the one thing. So we don't really eat much dairy in this household anyway, But cheese is the one thing that, like, the dairy eaters, my husband and my daughter, cheese is like the one thing that we eat. So that's the tough thing. So whenever you do get to eat your cheese again, Samantha, whether it be on a pizza or nachos or however, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, however you want it, I hope you enjoy. So anyway, again, thanks for joining me, Samantha. Cheese will be my cheat, but I plan on staying dairy. Totally. That's exactly how we do it in our house. So yeah, and it makes you enjoy it that much more. And it also makes you really notice like how things make you feel. Like it makes you a lot more in tune with your body when you cut like dairy or something big like that out of your diet. Then once you start bringing it back in, you like notice how much it affects you, like how it doesn't make you feel so good or whatever. So yeah, that's the way to do it, I think. Like cut it out for a while, and then when you can bring it back, do dairy limited. I like to call it dairy light, whatever works for you. So, alrighty, well, I've talked for a while, so everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining me, Samantha. It was nice chatting with you, and I'll see you back here hopefully Friday. I'll be back talking to you guys about healthy baby stuff. I think we'll be talking more about, I think I want to talk about elimination diets. So, I think that's the plan, more dairy-free stuff. So, if you want to join me Friday afternoon, Samantha, I'd love to see you then. All right, have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.